One of the biggest learning experiences of my life has been learning through my family and learning about its culture through the foods that we cook together. My dad was born and raised in the New Jersey town that I also grew up in, and my mom is Peruvian born, but she grew up all over the place, from Peru to Chile, Bolivia, and Guatemala. So you can see, I guess, how there's a lot of different mixes of foods available to us, and for as long as I can remember, I had always wanted to follow along with my parents in the kitchen, whether my dad was cooking like SpaghettiOs or my mom was making arroz con pollo or gausa limeña. And so many times I would observe my parents cooking all the different kinds of meals that they did, and I would always just be longing to kind of learn. It seemed very cool that they knew all these recipes by heart, and especially because as I got older I realized that they were very culturally significant.
¿El chocolate dónde está? Aquí está.
And I can definitely see how it's an example of the cognitive apprenticeship method of learning, especially through, I guess, the subgroups of modeling, coaching, and reflection. Because I've definitely watched my parents, I guess, do like modeling would be an example of them cooking a recipe and me just observing them, and then I end up gradually over time learning how to do it, whereas they also were coaching me each step of the way to learn the recipes that they love so much. And also reflection, I guess, is where the person learning kind of has an expert to help them along the way, and I really feel like my parents are or have served to me as experts in the foods of their cultures. I remember making shepherd's pie with my dad for Thanksgiving every year, up until the point where I can now do it on my own, which is pretty cool. I just remember as a kid loving when my paternal grandmother would cook for me what she said was her favorite food, and it was actually pretty basic. I can easily make it now. She would make me a sunny side up egg, some mashed potatoes, chopped up hot dogs, and peas. And now today, she has Alzheimer's, so she can't cook for herself, but I actually get to cook it for her, which is really sweet because I remember her teaching me how to do it. And it's kind of interesting that whenever she eats the food, she is instantly like so happy, and she can kind of remember things a little bit better, which kind of reminded me of the experiment that we read in the reading, where the rats associated taste with certain experiences, which also perhaps speaks to spontaneous recovery after extinction, just kind of getting this feeling back after a long time of not having that feeling. And it's triggered by different kinds of stimuli. At the end of the day, I'm really just grateful for the experiences that I've had in learning how to cook my family's food, be it ceviche, alfajores, or shepherd's pie, and apple crisps and apple pies. It's definitely been a very special upbringing, and I just really love how I get to know more about my parents, and I learn from them and about them at the same time, which I think has been pretty cool.